Okay, so the Beatles Anthology 4 came out today. The music part. And apparently, the Real Love 2025 mix is just a complete... Everyone is upset about it. Okay, let's rephrase. It is unsatisfactory. Yeah, that's better. Unsatisfactory. Out here making me look stupid and stuff, like had to go post, oh, I'm not doing an anthology video, I promised. Go out here and Real Love has to sound like crap, apparently. I got this text saying, oh, it's really bad. And I'm like, oh, it's probably just my friend. And then Reddit starts saying it, and I'm like, oh, it's probably just Reddit. And then Reddit keeps saying it, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm here at 7:04 a.m. I have not slept yet. In the middle of the biggest health snafu of 2025, which is actually saying something, to make this video. I'm putting on concealer. This is ridiculous. Also, yes, I know the bangs are short. I'm trying something. God forbid a bitch be creative. When the Anthology 2025 re-release was announced in August, fans were not happy. For the most part, they were just kind of like, do we need this? The track list for the Anthology 4th disc was also unsatisfactory. I don't know, guys, sorry. Everybody was kind of like, meh. You know, there was a lot of complaints of scraping the bottom of the barrel, squeezing the lemon, cash grab, that kind of stuff. Which is fine, that's totally valid. If you are unfamiliar with the Anthology project, I made a video about it in August, which is like kind of a throwaway video, but I'm just gonna let Past Lars introduce the project for me. Thanks, Past Lars. Take it away, Ern.
Take it away, Ern.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Buddy, he just wants attention, and I get it. I want attention. That's why I do this. Let's have a conversation about what we should expect from the Anthology release. The Anthology book. Don't flash the camera. A 25th anniversary version of the Anthology book is out October 14th. Exciting. The entire new release of the Anthology music is out November 21st, which includes Anthology 4, the 2-disc LP, and a restored, remastered audio version of the Anthology documentary will be streaming on Disney Plus starting November 26th, with the first 3 episodes being released. Additionally, there will be a 9th episode. I don't get it on VHS anymore. If you're new to the Anthology project, I guess. In 1995, 1996, depending on which music release we're talking about, the Beatles released 3 double albums of previously unheard mixes and demos, including 2 new songs, Free as a Bird and Real Love, that were John demos from the late 1970s. This also includes Now and Then, that came out in 2023, but at the time, the quality was really bad, impossibly bad, and George said quality was shit or shite. We're not doing that. We got 2 new Beatles songs in the mid-90s. Additionally, there was an 8-part, it aired a little differently, a Beatles documentary that featured the 3 remaining Beatles, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and their cohorts. Archival interviews from John and Brian Epstein, too, that kind of put the Beatles story into perspective. What it says here is that they were candidly telling their own stories with all its complexities and contradictions. And boy, were there some contradictions. Additionally, they put out a book, a massive book in 2000. And the issue with the book, it's illustrated and such, and there's lots of photos and all kinds of things, but sometimes this illustration and these things are a little hard to read. If you know anything about me, you know that I really love the Yellow Submarine project as a whole. I made 2 videos on it. It stacks. It's a little over 6 hours. I read this page so many times. But look at that. Look at that page. Why? Which means the new issue of this book, because what we see on the Beatles website and other leaked photos are the illustrations, the photos and stuff, and then a bar of clean white text that everyone can read. It's probably still tiny though. The documentaries, episode 9, is, according to the press release, including unseen behind the scenes footage of Paul, George, and Ringo coming together between 1994 and 95 to work on the anthology and reflecting on their shared life as the Beatles. I would like to caution us and our expectations very quickly, because when the DVD was released, there was also an episode 9. It's the reunion part of the anthology. This sounds eerily similar to that. The restoration has been overseen by Apple Corps' production team, and they worked with Peter Jackson's Wingnut Films and Park Road Post teams along with Giles Martin. Regarding the music releases, these have been remastered by Giles Martin, but were originally remastered by George, not remixed, just remastered, including rare material, a shadow story to the one told in the documentary. The track list is now available, though it hadn't been leaked, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on screen because I don't have it in front of me. Okay, let's pause real quick so we can talk about this. On screen right now, I found this on Reddit, is the track list for disc 4, or anthology 4, sorry, with highlighted portions of what has been released before. I believe in parentheses is an explanation of some changes. On this Reddit post, a lot of people are unhappy about this because they feel duped and disappointed, etc., etc. It also has an important new element. The track list was curated by Giles and includes 13 previously unreleased demos and session recordings and other rare recordings. It also includes new mixes of Free as a Bird and Real Love, and those are the original mastering from Jeff Lynne, which use demixed John Lennon vocals. That's the same thing as the Peter Jackson studios. This is how we had Now and Then. This is how we had Get Back. Thanks, Ern. I watched an interview with Giles Martin, and he said that he worked on this project for a little over a year. He also said that he went and dug through the archives, did a lot of listening to old Beatles music, and said that this is kind of it, that there's not really some other hidden John track or anything like that. I know Carnival of Light. I know you guys all want Carnival of Light. We're not going to get Carnival of Light. Just let it go. So I get it. I understand. Outside of Carnival of Light, I don't think we're going to get anything else. Though I personally, if I want something, it would be the 27-minute of Helter Skelter. Shoot me. I also read, and I don't know where I read, that Danny Harrison said in an interview that he and Sean Lennon listened to the takes. I'm assuming he meant Real Love and Free as a Bird and the anthology 4 tracks, which baffles the mind. I just... And frankly, a really bad Beatles release could not come at a worse time. I am having just like the worst health snafu of 2025, which is in perhaps 2024 and 2020. It's saying something, okay? The timing is horrific. And I posted that I wasn't going to do that. I already mentioned that. But I said I wasn't going to do this. And it was so bad that I crawled my ass out of bed to talk shit. And I'm refilming it because I didn't like how I looked. So that's where we're at today. Woo! And because of all of those things, I do not have annoying memos. So please like, subscribe, and comment. That helps a lot. If you want all of the music for this, the whole 1996, 2015, and the 2025 releases of Real Love and the genuine reaction to all of that, then go to my Patreon, patreon.com/LarsLand. There's a lot more to be discovered there. And I made a 7-hour video on the TV show Lost. I have to mention every video. Okay, I really am usually a simp. Just go watch my Anthology 4 video. I am very much a just be happy with what we have. The Beatles, it's the Beatles. And I really feel like this mix of Real Love, this is different. I'm not alone. Everywhere I've looked, every corner of the internet, I'm definitely in the majority, which is saying something because all I do is piss people off with my takes on Lewison and my takes on George and Paul, and I have to mark that on the board. 1 second. And because I'm not alone, I'm definitely going to be reading from Reddit, and I know that it's kind of like Okay, Lars, why are you reading from Reddit? It's because I don't have a TikTok, I'm not on Instagram, and I'm not brave enough for the forums. It's just easily accessible Beatle opinions, and I find them generally to not be a huge dumpster fire. I know that that's crazy for Reddit, but as far as Beatle fans go, they do okay. Just as far as Beatle fans go. And I totally understand if you want to call me an ingrate, because be happy, it's the Beatles. I implore you to stay to the end of the song and just see all of the readings I have, because I have both sides and I want to show both sides, even if I disagree with them, just vehemently, strongly. Brutally, painfully. The dissenting opinion is it's not that bad, and I feel like I'm being gaslit. I know that that term is extremely overused, and I do know how it feels to have your reality crumble. It's very weird, but I feel like the It's Not That Bad club is trying to get my personal reality to crumble. I am so confused. I feel like we are not listening to the same track. Are we listening to the same track? I can only have 3 to 7 seconds of music before Content Daddy swoops in and ruins it. Everything's going to be kind of cut up in between different things that I talk about, just to kind of keep it listenable. Is the whole song going to be in here? Probably not. But once again, Patreon. Other thing, original reaction to Real Love this morning. I peeked the mic the entire time. It's super fun. Well, not the entire time, but like a lot of the time. So it's not the best. It's time for the moment of truth. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Oh God, I'm terrified. All right, let's just do it. I'm going to start the buffers with a text I got last night at 7:55 p.m. by my most reliable Beatle friend. I just checked the Real Love music video on YouTube because, I wanted to jam out. They updated it with a new mix. It is horrible. And I said, oh boy. And she said, LMAO. And I was like, okay, maybe this is an exaggeration.
All my little plans and schemes.
Huh? Oh, this has to be a joke, right? What? That didn't even sound like him. And then we're getting on Reddit, and I'm always on Reddit, okay? I've got issues, don't judge me. But if you want to follow me on Reddit, it's This Is Lars Land, and that's where all my Beatles stuff is. And I was seeing a lot of criticism. It wasn't just one post, it was just coming in. And I thought, oh shit, maybe I should listen to this.
Plans and schemes.
Oh, okay, so this is what it sounds like when I have to clarify audio really harshly to get the music out of the background, to get the Content Daddy stuff to be happy when I make videos. And you can tell. And then I did. And I will never forgive Reddit or my friend for doing that to me. Well, I mean, I was going to listen to it anyway. I just wasn't going to film it.
Gone like some forgotten dreams.
This is so unnerving. Admittedly, I did not clock the lyrical change. Like, I knew it was there, but I didn't point it out. I wasn't paying it. I was too busy being traumatized. Real Love 2025 mix. This is from 6 hours ago. Anyone else extremely disappointed by the new mix of Real Love? John's voice is grossly artificial and George's missing call and response guitar. Who let this pass quality control? Edit. Also, did anyone else notice it changed Lost Like Some Forgotten Dream to Gone Like Some Forgotten Dream? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Seems that all I really was doing.
What was that? Doing. What was that doing? That didn't. What was that? That was so weird. I don't think that we've ever. Hang on. Let's see. You can. It's not. Okay. Oh, oh, I don't like it. I don't like this at all. Okay. So here is top comment. Why remove so much of George's work? The little fills and call and answer sections were some of the highlights of the previous version. How did they think cutting so much of George would improve it? Very underwhelming, really. Such a shame. George's fills, where he plays around the rhythm, are especially missed on the last verse. The call and response now feels more like cut and paste, impersonal, and unemotional. Exactly. It's glaring to me in the outro as well. You'd think the likes of McCartney and Martin Jr. would... Well, it's not Martin Jr., it's Giles Martin, not George Martin Jr. So, sorry, I'm just being an asshole. Anyway, sorry, Dependent Sir 6139. Anyway, I would have enough experience of the mixing process to hear how poor this version is by comparison to what came before. Such a shame. I admit that John's voice is automated or something. It doesn't sound tender in comparison to the 1996 version.
Little plans and schemes.
It's just so awkward. It doesn't sound, first off, the lyrics have changed, which is weird. I don't understand why that was done. I wish that there was some sort of explanation. Second is that it seriously, like the schemes and stuff here, it doesn't sound right. It just, the issue is that it's not that bad. Yes, it is. It does not sound human.
Plans and schemes.
That doesn't sound correct. And it's taken to the point where it does not sound like John Lennon, okay? 3 hours ago, why? Just why do they keep doing these remixes? I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand changing music that was already good. We don't need another remix or remaster or whatever Beatles songs that are already out there. My favorite way to listen is still the original mixes on records. Okay, we're getting a little into the weeds here, but whatever.
Just like little girls and boys.
I won't deny that some sound great and it's cool to hear John so clearly, but I have such an emotional connection to Free as a Bird in Real Love. Without the ghostly John, it just doesn't feel right. I understand the vibe, but that was kind of something that I bitched about in my last video, where it was just a comedy video, guys. So both of these videos are not very Lars Landy of me. Then No from 12 hours ago. The Real Love mix sounds god-awful. It's in the video.
Playing with their little toys.
Like, okay, whatever they've tried to do has really taken, it doesn't even, I don't know who this is supposed to be. This does not sound like John. And then top comment, today marks the dark period in history. All they had to do was add a better John Lennon voice in the 2015 mix, and I would have been pleased. Honestly, they did the separation on the vocals too harshly. They could have kept the vocal and still somewhat unclean, like the 2015 mix. Now it sounds terrible. Free as a Bird sounds good. This sounds like AI trying to sound like John. Never in my life have I been more disappointed. This song got done dirty and had a botched job. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, poor George. Removed tons of George's guitar licks. How Sean and Danny approved of this is beyond me, to be honest. I think when separating the vocals for Real Love, they used the release song instead of the demo. The released song has Paul on backing vocals trying to sound like John. Why would they not use the demo? That's actually insane. You can definitely tell Paul's vocals trying to sound like John were fed into it. You're spot on to that. Interesting. We will take a look at that. Okay, editing Lars is thinking about this now, because when I listened to it, I reacted to that thought. But now I was just thinking, in the press releases, they say, okay, well, we used it, the original Jeff Lynne masters. So then I was like, wait a minute, does that mean that they used the masters, like the original masters in the demo, or were they using the mix masters? I'm not a musician. I'm not smart, like at all. So musicians, smart people, engineers, yeah. Why don't you guys comment? I talk about it in a little bit, but like, smart people, do your smart people thing in the comments, because I'm just a dummy. I'm a dumb person with short bangs. I'm trying something. That's such a weird choice. That was such a weird choice. Why did they do that? Why? This is a really well-written post on Reddit. It says, the musical vandalism of Real Love 2025. I mean, shit, these are actual people with brains. I am not a musician. I'm not smart. Okay. Someone explained to me why Apple thinks they can keep screwing with these two 90s songs so much, flying in new vocal lines, futzing around with the drum files, swapping out George's guitar licks 2015, or deleting them totally 2025. I totally understand wanting to use tech to make Lennon's voice clearer, and that's totally fine in principle. In reality, they've arguably made it worse, but let's leave that for now. But what makes them think they should screw with the guitar parts and the drum fills, etc.? It sounds so much more like a Beatles song with that in. In 2015, they flew in an alternate vocal line from George with different lyrics in Free as a Bird, and now they've changed John's lyric in Real Love. Lost Like Some Forgotten Dream is better than Gone Like Some Forgotten Dream anyway. Why change it? If George had wanted those alternate licks used in 96, he would have said so. He wanted the ones from the 1996 mix, not the ones from the 2015 mix. And now he's long gone and they've deleted them totally from the 2025 mix. This is basically musical vandalism. Leave the parts that the dead guy wanted on the song as they were. Interestingly, they don't do any of this with remixes for the 60s albums. I guess they don't hold the 90s songs with the same reverence? It's so odd. And they probably don't, because a lot of fans don't consider them Beatles songs. A lot of fans don't consider Now and Then a Beatles song either. And I have waffled on the feelings of like, canonically, should this count? And I don't know. Today is not the day for the answer for that. It's real. Did they think that just turning George up in the harmonies was going to make that okay? Because it's still fucking weird. It's still wrong. So here's a reply. Well, you have no idea what the process was for making this song. They might have wanted something different back in the early 90s when working on it, but the technology wasn't there. You also have no idea what George wanted or didn't want. He very well could have thought that those licks were too much and wanted them pulled back. This is the danger of making these assumptions. It's real. Which I would typically probably agree with, that we don't know what George wants. But at this point, especially with having Jeff Lynne in the studio, this was very much George's call. He made sure that he had the upper hand on production for the anthology project with the music. So what George wanted is what made it on the record, as far as I understand it. As far as I understand it, I'm happy to be wrong. See, this part's fine. Another comment. It's not that bad, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. Reply. Exactly. I mean, I was a tiny bit disappointed with the new mix, and people are allowed to express their disappointment, but you'd think it was the worst thing to ever happen. People can listen to the original mix if they want. There's a lot that I neglected to mention, or at least a few things that I neglected to mention. I really was too busy being traumatized vocally. I was so focused on that, and I'm not even sure that I verbalized it so well because I was just really taken aback. This is another line that really just doing is just part of the issue. It seems like all they really were doing. It sounds really weird. Seems like all we really were doing. So it's like all they really were doing, all we really were doing. It seems like the words are not properly what words were we going for here? What's going on? It sounds really wrong. Another comment. It's not that bad, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. Reply. Exactly. I mean, I was a tiny bit disappointed with the new mix, and people are allowed to express their disappointment, but you'd think it was the worst thing to ever happen. People can listen to the original mix if they want. So the reply to that says, the 1996 mix is better. The 2015 mix is better. Well, then enjoy listening to those. There's a problem with this because the 96 mix is available on Spotify, I believe. I use Apple Music. It's available on Apple Music. Guess what isn't available on Apple Music and Spotify? The 2015 mix. So there is some retconning of what is the new mix. Let's say that you're going to watch the Real Love music video on the Beatles. It came out 9 years ago with the 2015 mix. And as of 2 days ago, it was updated with the 2025 mix. Was that English? Oh no, I accidentally went all the way back. Oh no. Another reply. If you enjoy artificial sounding Lennon vocals, altered in pitch to the point of him sounding almost unrecognizable, then pasted bone dry and even out of sync on top of a backing track, which loses the majority of George Harrison's guitar contributions, then it's not that bad.
From this moment on, I know.
That's not English. No. Another post says, Real Love 2025. What am I missing? In short, why the hate against the new 2025 version of Real Love? Lennon's voice in the old version always sounded unclear and warbly, whereas this version makes Lennon's vocals record-worthy. The whole song sounds more enjoyable as a whole. Like with Free as a Bird 2025, count me in as a fan of the new mixes. I did like Free as a Bird 2025. I did. I liked it better. It was not like this. Tell me how you felt about the Free as a Bird mixes, okay? I do wish that I had also put in some 1996 stuff when I was it's too late. I'm not doing it. Okay, so I'm a lying liar who lies. Why did they do that? Why did they do that with George's guitar? Like, I don't understand. I wanted to do a little bit of a comparison here between the 96, 2015, and 2025 mixes, showing exactly what I'm talking about with the changes in guitar. This is 96 here. Because I thought for sure at the beginning, oh, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Because you're big Beatles fans. Here's the 96 mix right here. I just wanted to give a little bit of a buffer. Okay, so now we see this because we just heard the 2025 mix, right? Okay, and then I remembered, okay, maybe... And then I thought, well, maybe not everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, so I should pull up the other mixes too and show what the difference is. So here's the 2015 mix as well. 2015 here. So you can see once again that is completely wiped in the 2025. And it's not just this, it's every pre-chorus, it's gone. So the replying guitars are in the verses, but these little fills in the pre-chorus and chorus are gone. Just the da-na-na-na-na-na-na are there. It's not what it used to be. It's completely gone. I really cannot understand this decision. It's completely gone. Completely wiped. No amount of Reddit threads or text messages from my most trusted Beatles friend was going to prepare me for this. Like, it is not... I always think people are overreacting, and yet here we are. There is some discussion as to whether or not Jeff Lynne had a greater hand in the Real Love mix. Giles Martin was overseeing the remixes, and he was the one who curated the track list of Anthology 4. But Real Love and Free as a Bird came from the original Jeff Lynne masters, so he was involved in this, but I don't know the extent of which he was involved. There's just speculation. I hate it here. I hate it here. That's so obnoxious. Like, it's like, oh, look, here's some actual Beatle harmony in the middle of this. And it's just like this really fucking weird version of John singing. And it doesn't sound like John. It just legitimately doesn't sound like him. You know, it definitely sounded very ghostly and very ethereal before, which I never minded. This is not my favorite. I like Free as a Bird better. Well, I don't know. I think I used to like Real Love more, and then I liked Free as a Bird for a while, and now I feel like I've been kind of back in this vibe lately. But I'm not gonna lie, like, I hate this. I hate this. Like, there can't be a single person in Camp Beatle that actually likes this, right? Nobody actually heard this, right? Giles, what the hell? Paul, what the hell? Paul, did you hear this? You guys are both on tour right now. Ringo and Paul are both on tour right now. When did you guys sit down and listen to this? And was there something playing in the background? Was the original Real Love mix playing in the background when you heard the new Real Love mix?
Real love, it's real.
I like it when Ringo is brought up in the mix, but the tambourine is crazy loud. Tambourine, maracas, shaky shakies, bumba bumps. These are accents. They're not supposed to take over. Why is it so loud? Speaking of, here's a post. Forget Jeff Lynne. The remaining Beatles / their estates signed off on the remixes. Jeff Lynne's 2025 remixes are terrible, blah, 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 particularly Real Love, we get it. But the most perplexing error, in my opinion, is the Beatles / their estates listened to it and said, yep, this is great, and I agree with this person. How does Sean listen to his father's voice on Real Love and not gasp in horror? How does he not have notes? How do Danny and Olivia hear the erasing of some of George's most brilliant guitar work, okay, relax, on Real Love and just nod their heads in agreement? Same with Paul, a notorious perfectionist. What is going on at Apple? And the top comment is that they got paid for previous remixes, they'll get paid for these remixes, and they'll get paid for the next one. And I just feel like that's not a good enough answer. Yes, they'll get paid. The Beatles will always get paid, right? This is embarrassing. It is so far beneath what the Beatles' typical standard would be.
All I've been in love before.
I actually think that they might have gotten some grief about the Paul sounding like John here, because I think that they tried to mix it more like those later Beatle records of those Beatle harmonies, because I hear more of almost like the Because type vibe, that kind of choral version of Beatle harmony. In the harmony is what I'm talking about. I don't know what they did to John's vocals for this. Like, this is so bad. Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never. It's funny to me because looking at the Reddit as well is that there's lots of people looking at the leaked versions, because Anthology was leaked a couple weeks ago, and they're like, is this real? Is this real? And people are like, yeah, it's real.
Seems like all I really was doing.
This is so, like, I'm sorry, I know I keep saying the same thing, but it is like, it is just as jarring each time I hear it. It is just as bad as it is. Just, it's not getting any better. It's not getting any more tolerable. It's getting worse. It's getting worse, guys. Is the Beatle mix in the room with us? Like, this is not. Dear God, does anyone else actually like the new Real Love mix? Just me? I think it sounds great and clear. It sounds terrible. John's voice is so robotic. I think it's another version, and I'm glad it exists. Weird hearing John's voice so clearly. It's always jarring to hear his voice. Just like when I heard Now and Then. It's just him.
No need to be alone.
Just let me regroup for a second, okay? Just a moment of silence for our fallen soldiers here, okay?
Look how they massacred my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy. Thanks, Tiny Purple Fishes 2908. That was their reference, but seriously, that is how I feel. I'm like, how?
I don't want his mother to sing this.
Yes, it's real love.
This is how you know if there's like a Beatle simp and not like a normal fan, is if somebody's like, I don't mind it. They're lying. They're just doing it because they think that they have to. Nobody likes this. Nobody likes this. I feel some like, this doesn't sound like John. It doesn't sound like the real Love John. Like, it doesn't sound like any... Okay, I'm gonna go throw up now. Jesus Christ.
My sweet Lord. My Lord. My Lord. But it takes so long, my Lord. My sweet Lord.
I would like to thank my gold passport holders for supporting me and tolerating my insanity. James, Julian, Pete, Jody, Al, CB, Steve, Caleb, Ann, Kyle, Shitpost Botman, Ashley, Taylor, Iridescent Gems, Matthew, W. Tyler, Angel, Front Penny, Debesh, Tim, Dan, Pam, Christopher, Joe, Alec, Elena, Charles, Awkward Yogi, Red, McKenna, Sophia, Dan, Doc, Hotel Wi-Fi, Bernie, Alex, Clint, Alice, Charlotte, Lady, Nope, Gareth, Mac, Allison, Matt, Violet, Serena, Tori, Leaps, B, Chris, and Mark. Thank you guys. I love you so much.